Break of day 35 of the Undercover Policing Inquiry Tranche 2 Phase 2. We have been listening to the live evidence, audio only, of HN1, the undercover police officer who used the cover name Matt Rayner. I'm joined by Alison from Police Spies Out of Lives, who is off screen because she has anonymity. Just to quickly say, HN1 has been absolutely fucking vile. The man is a sexual abuser, but he thinks he's done nothing whatsoever wrong. He's been awful. Alison, what do you think of him?
Yeah, I can't. I've got no. I mean, I have got words, but I'm surprised at how angry he's made me, given that I can't see his face.
Yeah, right. Totally. I'm so angry.
You know, it's like listening to the radio and shouting at the radio.
Yeah.
Quite like where we are because we can shout out, so we're not in the proper public gallery. He's revolting every time revolting. You think they can't get worse. I mean, it is the gift that keeps on giving in that sense.
It really is.
Like,
really
you think, Lambert, you can't get worse than him. He goes round the houses, balls for England. Then you get to Coles, and he's just arrogant and revolting and slimy. And then you get this one.
He's so posh as well, isn't he? He's so posh.
He's got a bit of a
yeah.
And a chuckle.
A chuckle. Everything's a little bit funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know. I mean, when him talking about Liz as well is just so.
He's another one who is in denial, or I don't. He's obviously reckons himself as quite clever.
Oh yeah, he thinks he's fucking brilliant.
There's a lot of long words. Well,
And also, he was told, why do you think you were suited to the role? And he was like, well, I was particularly good. I was particularly clever. I was particularly,
And he gave himself away early on, didn't he? He said something like, well, the Operation Hearn interview was very me-centric. You pick that up?
Yeah.
Very me. He is very me-centric, but he's also, just the language, all the sexual relationships. Well, it was a bit of a grey area. There was a lot of nuance.
There's a lot of grey area, nuance talk.
And he is. I mean, he's doing a big job at trying to impress upon the judge, on Sir John Mitting and on the lawyers, that he is one of them.
Yes.
I'm one of you guys. You can see that. I admit it was wrong to have an affair. It's not an affair. It's not an affair, HN1. It was wrong to have an affair, and it was genuine feelings. I'm only human. He's only human.
And he's still got those genuine feelings. They're still there.
He hasn't still got them, because that would be normal.
Sorry,
He retains.
Yes, sorry.
He still retains those feelings.
Yeah.
There was one phrase where he said something like, we tweeted it, but something about articulation, formulation, calculation. I mean, what words are you saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of words. He also, which was rather beautiful, got himself, the lawyer got him in a position where he had to basically support our campaign against, he supported our campaign for reforming the Chiz Act. Because he said, yes, if it was prescribed to get into a relationship, I probably wouldn't have breached that rule. Which is exactly what we're saying the law should say. The law should say there are limits on what undercover officers can do, and it should be illegal for them to have intimate sexual relationships. But when he answered that, and I want to look back at the transcript when we get it, when he answered that, he seemed very cognizant of that law, because he immediately went around the houses and talked about proportionality and necessity, and in legislation it'd be very difficult to do, but yes, if it was there I probably wouldn't have breached it. So I'd be interested. I mean, I know we're not. Are we allowed to talk about who we really?
I mean, in terms of speculation, we're allowed to speculate. Of course, we're allowed to speculate. I mean, he's blatantly works in the civil service or politics in some way, academic possibly. Certainly, something around the formulation of legislation seems to be
He knew the legislation. He knew about the legislation, and also the other bit that I thought interesting. The use of the term genuine feelings, I thought chicken and egg with the CPS. Is the CPS saying these relationships were based on genuine feelings because he has been saying it and people like the other officers, or is he parroting the CPS?
Right, yeah, absolutely. Or is he in the CPS?
Or is he in the CPS?
Did he write that thing for the CPS?
That's what I also wondered. That in a way doesn't help, but basically he's revolting.
So revolting.
I just... They're so arrogant, the arrogance, and for someone who reckons himself a bit of an academic, how he doesn't understand the power dynamics in these abusive relationships is quite telling about his own, his own ignorance, or his continued deceit and lies and manipulation, which is what I think we're getting here. I think we're getting another arch manipulator who is, sounds quite public school.
Yes, well, very public school, I would say.
Not,
I'm almost certainly. I mean, like, I can't imagine he'd ever even visited a state school, the kind of voice he's got.
I think he's got very,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely that thing of like, but you know, I love you, baby. You know, I know all these terrible things to you. I know I've abused you and raped you and fucked you over in all these different ways, but you know, I still love you. You know, it's not, you know, and I know it's wrong to have an affair, but you know, I've got feelings.
Yeah, I've got feelings. I'm only human, and I've got integrity.
Oh, the integrity was, yeah.
He's got integrity.
Yes, we talked about integrity a few times.
He reminded me, in a way, of Roger Pierce when he talked about these officers. Actually, when you lie, you actually have to be a person of more integrity.
Yeah.
Taking on this job.
I remember that.
The mental gymnastics that they are doing to justify their own existence, and again, I think we talked about this last time I did this, but they are saving themselves from their immediate family and immediate community and immediate people in their lives.
Yeah.
They're doubling down on the lies. Or in his case, he's kind of telling a bit of truth. He's saying, I did have a relationship with Liz.
Yeah.
He's not denying it.
No. But it was just an affair.
It was an affair, and that was morally wrong, and I accept
Yeah.
that. But, you know...
But all affairs are wrong. That's what he said. All affairs have some element of wrong about them.
Yeah. So I'm just one of many, you know, I'm just, you know, I've erred, but I was doing an important job. Yeah. And I mean, he is quite quick thinking when it comes to the bit where, you know, what about, have you basically just reported on loads of innocent people then, the animal rights? Well, only when asked. I was only doing that when asked. He was in there, basically
only following orders.
Yeah, I have reported on loads of innocent people. Oh, yes, but only when asked.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was useful as well, because it was just as useful for his colleagues for him to report on the innocent people, to put them away from the, you know, to remove them from the list of people to be interested in.
There's another one with a God complex. Like he's doing a really important job because some people he's recognising that they're innocent, and that's fine too. That's his job too. That's the state's job too.
Yeah.
We'll put these people in that category, and then these people over here, and that's fine to be spying on them all and lying and spying. It's all fine. I don't know what all you lot of lefties are all making a fuss about. Really.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lovely bit of it. Was a different era before 2000. Anybody born since 2000 wouldn't realise how damaging these large demonstrations were to the City of London. They would shut down the City of London, and thanks to the SDS, that's no longer an issue. We can have these large demonstrations in London, and London carries on as normal. Whereas before, you know, I mean, I wonder, you know, I mean, I guess 2003, stop the war. I guess that would, you know, that shut down London. So, I mean, when's he talking about? When did it supposedly change? I don't know what he's talking about. I didn't understand any of that. But it's a different era. That's the point. It's a different era, and he was needed for that different era, which people today wouldn't understand. Yeah. People today wouldn't understand the dangers we faced.
No,
he name-checked Irish Republican terrorism, which an area which, you know, there was no remit for the SDS to deal with, as we well know. But he manages to shoehorn that in, you know.
No, he's the flag bearer of the unit, isn't he? He's saying he is holding forth on that it was an important unit. It was justified what they did. Yes, some of them, you know, were men who fell in love or fell for these women, but essentially that should not destroy the reputation of this unit. This unit was, you know, reputable, it was doing important work, it was informing the uniformed police for public order, and anything that says otherwise would be a very inaccurate judgment. And he's looking forward to the public making that judgment.
Yes, absolutely. And when people know about it, they will exonerate him and he'll get some credit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that as well. I think some of the worst thing he said was the very last thing he said, and the opening like 10-15 minutes. The very last thing he said was he was uniquely suited to the role. He was particularly good at it, just like Bob Lambert.
Yeah.
That was the last thing we had before the break. But the first thing he said, he was asked about that people had besmirched the reputation of the unit. Yes. Who had done that? Peter Francis. Peter Francis had done the reputational damage. And it was put to him that maybe the reputational damage had been harmed by people having children, like Bob Lambert, or him having affairs. And or as he called it, having sexual relations whilst deployed undercover. He said, "Oh no, that didn't damage the unit at all. It was just the damage was it going public. If it had been kept private as it was meant to, this day should never have come. We were told this would never happen. Wouldn't be a problem. Everybody would still hire it in just as high regard as they always did."
No, I've always thought they think that. I've always thought that they think, you know, what you don't know doesn't hurt you.
He actually said those words. He said, if no one knew, no one would have been hurt. Said those words.
That's totally what they think.
I mean, he couldn't be a worse human being if you tried.
I know, but for those reasons, it makes it all the sweeter every time I hear something like that. For those of us who have been instrumental in exposing
Yeah.
it's just sweetness.
Isn't it?
Sweetness.
Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah, there's lots more to come. This is just the first half of the morning section of day one of 3 days of evidence from this character.
Yeah.
I mean, as we hear this evidence, I mean, particularly note how on earth did he get anonymity? How on earth did he get away with that anonymity? It's insane.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we're about to go back in, I think. Thanks for joining. I'll be back again soon. Cheers, Alison.